Hey, what's good, Philly? Bill Destroy Radio. Ustream.tv. Download the Ustream app on your mobile device. Either way, type in Build and Destroy Radio, and we are about to go. Well, we are live right now, setting up for the radio portion of our broadcast. I feel civically minded. Mark feels like he's done his duty to keep democracy alive.
That's right.
And Derek's just
I feel I did my part.
a gun toting, gun wielding Democrat doing his thing.
Guns a blazing.
Guns a blazing. So, we voted. Now it's time to build and destroy. We're about to go live in a minute. As you hear, the music director's got our homage we're about to pay to the one and only legend Prince. We got to do our thing. We got to drop our respects on it, like everybody else has been doing over the past 3-4 days. Tragic thing, but we're gonna have a good time tonight, y'all. We're about to kick things off. Build and Destroy Radio, putting the final touches on the show. We're gonna kick off in about 5-10 minutes. All right, stay tuned. All right. Do I have any more lights there at all? Can I move this up here? That Black Thought joint you dropped on me?
Incredible.
Good Lord.
I was trying to get that on the situation, like,
Is it the new single?
Man,
No.
he was at
he was
Harvard
at Harvard, dropped the
in some
dropped
symposium
the
such
freestyle.
situation.
He dropped the freestyle.
He
joint.
dropped the freestyle that was
It's
just
just like wow, like wow, we down.
Really black.
No
dog.
beat, no beat, just
no beat.
straight
One
acapella.
third
Songs.
acapella, 1/3 spoken word, 1/3 3/4 dope MC. Mix it together, and you have
boy.
legend
Like,
status.
one of the best that ever did it.
One of the best that ever did it. Nothing else to say. You ready, sir?
Yeah.
The time, everybody in Philadelphia is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock. Guess what? It's time to build and destroy. Southwest, West, Philadelphia, what's happening? Build and Destroy Radio on your airwaves again for April the 26th, 2016. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here this evening to celebrate this thing we call life. This thing, if you haven't known, this is me giving an awkward homage to the one and only Prince, who left this plane of existence last week to the heartache and pain of millions who have called this man a legend, arguably the greatest guitarist in music history, if not right up there, maybe one or two could stand next to him. And I think they're all in heaven right now. We've lost one. And I always say, when you lose somebody that has that kind of energy, that kind of seismic mark is almost left, and it can't be filled. You feel it, especially artistically, creatively, just such a strong life force for what he's contributed to the masses. I felt that way when Bill Gates died, when Bill Gates passed away, when James Brown passed away, when Michael Jackson left us. You feel a void. You feel it. It's palpable, and it takes you a minute to recenter yourself and get refocused on the day-to-day grind that we all go through every day. But
I'm still off kilter.
this one's going to take a minute.
I'm still off kilter. I'm still not right back in where I should be mentally.
Right.
Still off kilter.
Right. Yeah. So, we're going to kick things off this evening. I want to say good evening, everybody. Build and Destroy Radio again, April the 26th, 2016. In the background, you hear music by the one and only Prince. Everybody else has had a chance to give their send-off, their memories. This is our time to commiserate bring fond memories about, and just talk about, how he impacted us, and was a, and it has and always will be a driving force behind Build and Destroy Radio. The number to dial if you'd like to give us a call and talk about Prince or anything else we're going to talk about this evening is 215-472-0882. That's the Build and Destroy hotline at WPEB 88.1 FM on your dial, broadcasting in beautiful Southwest and West Philadelphia. And again, we are live on Ustream.tv on your PC. If you have a mobile device of any sort, download the Ustream app, Ustream. Either way, type in Build and Destroy Radio, and we will be live on whatever you're watching. Where do we begin? Derek, you want to kick things off? Prince, man.
It's just, it's that feeling you got this, you never forget it. Certain people, when you hear their untimely demise, you remember where you were for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And I was on the phone with a client, and one of my coworkers mentioning it. I couldn't even finish conducting business. I'm like fumbling the phone. I'm like, you got to be lying. There's no way. It was just disbelief to hear that. Prince, one of those people you just expect to live forever. You don't expect to hear him, pass away.
No.
It's such an early age. It's like, he's a part of. He like my brother said, he raised us. Like you said, Snoop. I mean, he pretty much raised us.
He
was like, he was there through our youth. Our love of music is centered around him. He's like the fulcrum of our music enjoyment, of why we love music so much. Like why I'm so passionate about music, why we love music so much, and it's so opinionated. It has to do with Prince a lot of it.
Right.
Because you really got an understanding and a grasp. When we were listening to Prince, we came into what we thought was great music. Mm-hmm. Listening to the artistry, the lyrics, balladry, concepts. It was an education to get schooled in his music, and it's kind of sustained, I think, for my entire adult life. Why I'm so into music, just in general, jazz and rock and everything else. Prince made it cool to like rock, for sure. I can tell you that.
Mark,
he made it real cool to like
drop
rock.
that story. What's that story you were telling me about? What Prince? How you compare Prince to?
Prince is like an uncle.
Right.
He's like that uncle that took you away. You would ride with your uncle, to be away from your pops. He was a little less strict with it. He let you look at a girly magazine. He
Drink
took
a
you,
beer,
he let you have a little sip of a little nip,
Right.
little Coke 45 nip.
First takes of
Because when you listen to Prince music, you had the sexual part.
Oh,
You had just the stories of love. You had just the heartache. You had the stories about the father, the mother, and it was just he like Derek said, he raised us, and we're all around the same age. At that time, one of the things you said about him being a fulcrum of our music is we were in the cusp of hip hop, and it wasn't a lot of quote unquote artistry. It was a lot of lyricism, but straight up artistry from writing, production, lyrics,
concepts, album covers,
concepts,
videos,
from just everything every piece of that song was Prince, and it embodied so much. And it was like we weren't really, as young boys at the time, you were in the midst of a true genius. And hip hop in its infancy was great. It was born out of necessity, but it didn't have that level of artistry to it. Just pure artistry. Like now you got some cats that are a little more artistic with it. But just, composing, Prince, prior to his death, and now it's going to be so much, his music will make you cry. His
Easily.
music can make you cry,
Yes.
it can make you laugh, it
Easily.
can, it really give you a range of emotion.
Yeah,
That was the genius of Prince. But I also was saying that, he had a new album coming out. He had an album out a couple years ago. Was I really checking for that? maybe not, if it's a new Prince album, yeah, I'm gonna take a listen, whatever. But I'm not running, getting like first day. Oh, I gotta have it because my Prince quota was filled for my life.
Right.
I
right.
have enough Prince. I have the
catalog.
I have the catalog that I need, and I can always drop 2 or 3, 4 or 5 more songs in there. I heard some of the new stuff, and you gotta try to judge yourself. Am I liking this because he's deceased, or am I liking it because it's dope?
It was,
Right.
you know
what? It was. But
it was more so like the latter stuff was more about if like you said, you weren't really checking for it.
Right.
It was more of like a pleasant surprise if you heard something that caught you and you sincerely liked.
When you heard those Prince moments, that things that took you back to just like that uncle. When you go over his house after you're in your 40s, uncle ain't really dropping the knowledge or whatever. But every now and then he'll give you a gem, or he'll pull out some bottle and introduce you to some new liquor that you. And it's just like this is, and it just brings you right back. You're like, this is my uncle,
and you know what?
This is the boy I love.
That doesn't even matter, like because like you said, it doesn't matter what he does now.
Yeah,
his
imprint is there.
He's put such a huge imprint on the world with his music. He's having fun right now, just doing what he wants. He's always done what he's wanted. But he's using himself as a bridge to introduce new artists, new musicians.
Absolutely. Doing what
new agendas. Like I saw something on Facebook, all the platitudes and the and people paying respects and dropping different clips of him are all over social media. And the one thing that I saw, there was a guy that was on Tavis Smiley. I don't even know the brother's name. But he worked closely for Prince's philanthropic stuff that he had been doing. And people didn't even know the level of, of donations and causes that he aligned himself with, because he didn't want anybody to know. Yeah. And this guy was working under Obama, and I think he had lost his job, but he was cool with Prince. And Prince, had a job waiting for him to help run his stuff.
Cool.
Like Prince is doing stuff like putting solar panels in the hood in Oakland.
Right.
Giving people, low cost heating and air conditioning. Yeah. He was doing so many things. The guy was just like so in tune
with what's going on.
And the guy that was on Tavis Smile was just saying like he was so indebted to Prince. And Prince didn't want anybody to know this stuff. Like the stuff that he did a lot of stuff on the low.
Absolutely.
Prince, he was just a really dope cat, man. He had his isms. Like everybody's got a strange, weird Prince story. Everybody's got that story. Like Prince made me take my shoes off and eat yogurt at 2 in the morning. And we all know about the classic Charlie Murphy playing basketball and being served pancakes at the crib. So.
Assemble your crew.
And what Charlie Murphy said, I know. What is this? Shirts versus blouses. So everybody's got those stories, but that just shows you, like, and Derek, you talked about it. He touched, like, he set the bed for us musically, because he didn't touch down as an R&B artist. He didn't touch down as a hip hop artist. Yeah. He didn't touch down as a rock artist, a pop artist. He was all of that.
He was an artist.
He was just an artist. Yeah. That's why he became the symbol.
Absolutely.
He was all of that.
And I think John, classifying him in a genre, I always thought he was heavily rock and roll and funk influence.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just, but the rock and roll mixed with the funk was just so like organic. It wasn't forced. It just came across so lovely. And
you saw that, like,
just,
like he would, he just pop up and do sets. He did sets with George Clinton, would pop up and just rock out with George Clinton and be right in step with the funk. He stepped on stage with Q-Tip and just got the guitar and started doing a vibrant thing. Rocked out on that. He steps with George Strait and Aerosmith and rocks out with them at the Rock and Roll Hall
that was
of Fame.
That was one of his things. One of the stories that you heard over and over again was how he would just get inspiration and just assemble a band and like you said, 4 in the morning with yogurt and yoga slippers, and be like, let's rock.
Let's rock.
Like right now for
Right.
4 hours straight.
Come on, man,
It's
4
just
hours.
like, yeah.
They had the stories that going about his Paisley Park complex in
Right.
Minneapolis. They said there was no clocks. It was like a casino.
Yeah.
Like you would walk in there and start working on music and do sessions. And you didn't know, you walk out, you be like, it's 4 days later?
Right.
Like you went down a rabbit hole for 4 days, rocking out with Prince.
You got
recording.
beard growth, like what's
Yeah, you're like stubble, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you know, like they said it literally was like walking in a casino. There's no clocks. He had very little windows. He wanted you when you walked in, it was about the music.
Yeah.
And cats would be like, we just started jamming.
Yeah.
And it was 2 and 3 days later.
I
We
mean,
didn't even know
he
it.
was so accommodating, man.
Right,
Paisley
right.
Park, my God, he's got everything you can need to cut a
Everything.
record.
It was
It's
a
not like
mall.
you need to go to another studio.
Right.
He's got everything right there, the
Everything.
tracking, you know, the
Yeah.
boards, monitors, all instruments,
Full
turntables,
studio.
whatever
Yeah,
anybody
he didn't
needs.
need it. He had the
To
best.
crank it out, you didn't have to go anywhere
He
to
had
get
the
anything
best.
else. And
Yeah.
just amazing.
Can you
man.
imagine if we're doing a track? You like, you know what? This needs a Senegalese rapper to proto drum. You're like, I wish we had one. He's like, assemble all the African drums. And next thing you know, like, there it is. Like, wow. It's a Senegalese rapper drum. Like, that's what I've been looking for. And then you just,
He had everything.
it's there, you know, like all of a sudden. You know, you're some track needs. So we had a Romanian mountain horn.
With him, right.
And then you see Prince there, like, you're like, oh, okay, there it is. Who knew? Like, he was just a man, son. Like, come on.
There was nothing
There's
musically he
nothing
was
up,
on
yeah,
top of, bro.
yeah. And
He
we
was on top of the
gotta
world.
laugh because we shed enough tears when we
Yeah,
first
yeah,
found out.
yeah.
And Derek, I gotta say, man, your middle name is Grim Reaper these days
Yeah.
because you're always the one because you're so in tune, your ears to the street. You gave me that news just like you did when I can't even think who else, but other people that fight when Fife. I got the call from you for Fife.
Yeah.
You know, so when I get a call from you at
Yeah,
weird
like,
times of the day,
whoa, yeah.
I'm like, ah man.
Yeah.
Is Conway Twitty and we about to lose him? Like,
yeah.
you know, so I don't know.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw the meme with Stevie, the meme with Stevie Wonder on it.
No.
And they said, somebody please bubble wrap this dude because he's all we got
Yeah,
left.
exactly. How about
that's
that?
true, Wow.
In the back of my mind, I thought about
Wow.
that. Mark.
Stevie of Stevie.
Stevie,
Yo,
he's one of the last
that's it.
treasures
I
walking.
can't even take
Oh,
that.
I won't even.
That
I'll be. I'll have to be hospital.
That might have to be a national
Listen,
institutionalized.
can we
Might have
make
to be a
institutionalized.
national holiday.
all right? Can we make that a Bill and Destroy question? Because I love that. Who needs to get bubble wrap from this point? Who are our walking treasures right now?
Definitely.
You name one with Stevie.
Yes,
I put Aretha Franklin in that category.
I
Aretha.
love Aretha, but,
I like
but
Aretha,
but I
too.
mean,
I
just so much
wouldn't.
transcendence.
Yeah.
Aretha is all that, but she's still,
Right.
she's
She
still
doesn't
a niche,
transcend.
she's a legendary artist,
Right.
but she's still a niche artist.
Yeah.
Like when Snoop's talking about cats
I
that
got you.
everyone from
I got you.
Tokyo to Senegal
So give me
is
one.
going to lose their mind.
Give me another one.
Stevie, and I
Stevie.
can't think of anyone else. I'd say,
maybe we'll
Anybody
get
else?
one as we
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
I mean,
So let's put that out there. Let's make that a Bill and Destroy question.
I mean,
Who do you
I'll
think?
venture to say Jay-Z.
Wow,
Yeah,
Jay, good one.
I mean, if-
Excellent.
If Jay was to check out in the next 10 years, that would be monumental.
I love it.
Like,
It would be.
sheesh.
It would be. But I think it's almost like the pain of losing rappers is lessened. Like he's,
Yeah.
and then he's still a
But,
rapper.
yeah.
You know, people think
You're
like,
right.
oh, he's a hip hop
But I mean, I
artist.
just think his
you know,
influence.
Yeah.
Influence-wise.
We got someone on social media just hit us up. They want to know is Patti LaBelle with that rank?
Not to me.
Yeah,
No.
I think Patty's up there, like saying
Patty's
Aretha.
close.
Patty's up there with Aretha.
Patty's close.
Patty's like a legend. She's a
She's
legend. Make no
she's right on the
mistake.
fringe.
She's a legend. Make no
Right.
mistake. But I'm talking about
Right.
like the music community's got to pause.
Right.
Say this is a
Where
devastating
it drops
death.
everybody.
Where
It's-
Obama's
it's
got to say
everybody's
words. That's got to be
Yeah.
Stevie. That's
Yeah.
pretty much all I can think of at this moment.
And you know
As
what's
far
back
as
on Prince? I
black
mean, have
music.
you seen? I've seen a lot of excellent. I've seen a lot of great salutes and tweets and stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've never seen this many things that were so touching and on point
Yeah.
as the homages that were paid to Prince. I mean, they're lighting bridges. They lit the Ben Franklin
Yeah,
Bridge purple.
yeah. Changing
the,
bells to
change
like,
of
the
bells.
bells and the bells like
The bells to
in
play
Minnesota
Prince
were echoing
songs.
Prince songs and
You know, the section to the playoff game for the Minnesota Wild had
yeah,
the Prince
that was
symbol in the
dope.
center.
That was dope.
Praise and
That was
Worship in
dope.
church played Purple Rain.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
Purple Rain, yeah.
Nice.
Played Purple
Bruce
Rain.
Springsteen broke
Yeah.
down and did Purple Rain at the beginning of his set.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really touching. That just shows you how many people he touched. He touched everybody. You know, it was special, man. It was really special. What we're witnessing in regards to his greatness. It's a shame that all has to be shown in his in posthumously. But we're
Now
gonna
the
miss
good
him.
thing, the good thing that comes out of all this is that you get back into his music. I mean, naturally, the inclination to get back into people's music. I picked out some Prince and some stuff out the dusted off some of the jewels, and you were just like, this man. Like you realize how much
So I
people
went
are gonna
on.
miss.
I went on like Amazon right away to like see if I can grab some joints that some missing
Stuff that you're missing, right.
bullets from the clip.
Yeah.
All gone.
Sold out.
All
Stop.
gone. Not available. Not available. Not available.
Wow.
I'm talking about within minutes of me hearing, which had to be within like 2 hours with everybody hearing.
Oh my
Not available.
God.
Not available. Not available.
Wow.
Like wow. Trying to see if I can get me some. I want some hard copies.
Yeah. How about that? Yep. Jeez. And I stumbled across this by accident when I was in the house, and I broke it. I've been begging that all week.
We put that on camera.
His legendary, his status is legendary.
Yeah,
That's
this
one of
gem right here. Love Sexy live in Germany. Now that's something that this is Derek's copy he brought in close to his heart. I think he slept with it since Prince has passed away.
Now, I think it's going to be very hard, but if you give the right bid, he may sell it to you. He
that.
may sell
Right.
it to you.
It's gonna go for
Call
pretty
in.
close.
Call in with your
It's
bid.
gonna be expensive. It's gonna be very expensive. Yeah.
I think we're starting at about $450.
I'm like, yo, I'll never get rid of this. Someone call you, man, I give you $2,000. You know what, my man? Meet us.
One-time offer.
Right?
Exclusive.
You know,
You're not going to find that anywhere.
No,
You're not getting that.
not at all.
You're not
at
getting
all.
that. If you want to be a true
Jeez.
Prince head,
How about that?
you need
Yeah.
to cough up that dough and get
Pretty
this
much,
off my
pretty
man.
much. That's that. Yeah, that's a prized possession right now. But yeah. So what do you guys? I mean, as far as catalog, what do you guys been listening to? Any specific albums or?
I've been listening to a lot of mixes, such as this, yeah, which even some stuff I've heard and I've been like, what is that? Like, you know, because some things, it's unfortunate, but some things sound better post-mortem. Like, it's
like I said, I mean,
unfortunate.
certain songs,
Because
man.
even with Fife, I went to Fife's solo album, and that thing is nice.
Right.
And I was like, I remember when it came out and everybody was hyping it.
So
Like,
there were some tracks on
yeah,
there.
and I was like, you know, lyrically it's fire, but it wasn't Tribe Called Quest. But I listened to it after the passing. I'm like, yo, this thing is nice, man.
True that.
I was listening to Around the World Today, and I was getting a conversation with one of my bulls, and I was saying the thing that is so dope about Prince's catalog, you got to get into some of his less heralded songs.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
you go in some of those albums
Definitely.
like. You know, like Love Sexy and like I said, Around the World Today, and even like Batman, some of the songs like Party Man, like you know, those songs that are just like dope. But you forget like how thorough they weren't the songs that got played all the time.
Yeah.
But you listen to this man's catalog, you talking singles like, I mean, come on. Alphabet Street and all that. I mean, first of all, Love Sexy is one of my favorite albums.
Okay.
Period.
Good.
With Anastasia and Glam
Anastasia
Slam.
was great.
Oh, and then you got to check about the When Two Are in Love, which is like top 3 of his ballads. Period.
Wow.
When Two Are in Love is amazing.
All right, I was gonna put this
I
out
don't even
there.
know how to get into the top.
You gotta give 3. Give 3 your top ones. I mean, if I'm going 3 top Prince songs,
It's
let's say
impossible,
slow
dude.
jams.
It's impossible.
I'm
You
gonna
can just
force
go
it.
his ballads if you wanted to.
Yeah, because my all-time is still Beautiful Ones that have to be number
Oh
1.
yeah. Okay.
Beautiful Ones just still it stops me in my tracks.
Right.
Every time it comes on, Beautiful Ones, when I hear that boom, I'm like, gee. It just takes me somewhere else.
Right.
Two Are in Love's another
I
one.
love
Great.
Two Are in Love.
I forgot about that.
Two Are in Love.
Amazing.
And for us, you know, the
Scandalous, boy.
Scandalous.
When you hear that,
Scandalous. That's another one kind of stops you in your tracks. when you hear the raindrops.
And then you have
Come
to,
on,
and then
man.
you have to be aware of the extended version.
Oh yes.
When you
Absolutely.
used to go down South Street
Yeah,
to Tower
yeah.
and get the maxi singles,
yes, and they had the
you
long
get that
version.
extended 10, 11 minute joint
Yes.
with them interludes and
Please,
Prince just
unbelievable.
freaking
Yes.
his mental all
Yeah.
over the song
Right,
is like,
right. It's like, please.
dude.
Yeah, man. This.
I mean, and I don't even know if I need to bring this up, man. But
Bring it up.
It's
Bring it up.
just when Mike died, when Michael Jackson passed, it was the same ilk of hurt.
Absolutely.
Right.
But at the time, man, it made me compare the comparison, and people were really upset with me.
Catalog.
No, people were just upset making the
You dared to put the comparison out there.
Yeah, and I was just like a lot of cats are so surface and so radio and so
Right.
don't really
Mainstream.
understand like levels of music
Yeah.
and the different depths
Right.
of just music and how your soul. And I was just like, yo, I said, Mike is that boy. I said, but this Prince is just on a whole
Prince takes you so
another
many layers.
level.
levels.
Like it's just
To be honest, man, if you sit down and you really want to break out the protractors and the rulers,
Yeah, exactly.
and, you get the measurements.
Exactly.
It's a shame that he's not even in the same league.
It's
dog.
He's not.
You're not even in
He's
the
not.
same league as
God.
this boy.
Not. And you
It's
know
really,
what?
it really could get ugly.
it can
If
get
you really
ugly.
want to talk
It
about
can get
levels
ugly.
with his boy,
But they don't know. People don't know.
David, you want to start getting into the Madhouse albums?
Right.
Do we need to bring
Well,
those
yeah.
up? Or the jazz
We need to
levels?
go to
Do we need to start going to the
Good
Madhouse
Lord,
joints
mercy.
that were instrumentals? Do
Lord, you said
all
Madhouse.
jazz with him and Eric Lee?
Yes. Eric
The ones
Lee,
that had the
yes.
girl, the one with the girls on the cover with the
Yes.
dogs. He put out about like 8 of those albums.
And then when
all
I,
jazz.
then when I could
And
talk
he's
about
like, never sang
collaborations
on
and
any of
the
them.
offspring.
Yeah.
Never said, I know.
I mean, it stops
Come on.
right there. You
Come
stop
on. It's
stop
almost
the fight right
embarrassing.
there.
You're right, Steve. It's
There's
almost
Michael Jackson on the
embarrassing.
ropes and you
It's
gotta
almost
stop.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's not
People,
you really not even in his lane,
and to
dog.
your point, people really
You
got
really not in
upset.
his
and
lane.
it was, and maybe the timing of it wasn't good on my part
Right.
because everybody
So
was in
You
the
weren't being
midst.
sensitive.
Everybody
You
was
weren't
in the
being
midst.
musically sensitive.
But it was, I mean, you know, I just, and it kind of brought it back up, and I don't know if any of you heard on satellite radio, they made a whole channel, Prince Tribute Channel,
They did.
on
No, I didn't
XM.
know.
And
Okay.
big cats were calling in, and they started having a discussion.
Right.
And people were, you know, going back to like, I remember when Michael Jackson died, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But this hurts more because
Hurts more.
it's just,
It did
you know,
hurt you.
at 57 years old, he had so
It hurt. It hurt.
much more music.
He had so much more to give. That's
So
a great
much more
point. He
music.
had much more to give, and just the way he lived, he was the last dude you would think would check out early like that. I mean, I don't want to hear
He
this
looked
stuff. 'cause
great.
then
He looked
He
great.
looked great. He came
He's
outside
sticking
the
with- he
cage.
wasn't. He never got heavy.
I mean,
he was always that
he was
slim
always-
boy.
yeah.
Looked like he could still rock out.
I mean, outside of the hip issues that he
Skating
had.
impeccably. Look, he just.
Well,
You know,
great,
outside
man.
and anyone
Right.
would have hip issues that are dancing and doing
For
twirls and
30
splits.
years. You know.
You know, for
With platform shoes.
with platform
Right,
shoes
right,
on.
right.
Not even platform. He had heels on.
Yeah. Yes.
He
yes,
wore heels.
Platform
I think he
heels.
played ball in heels.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know, so of course you're gonna have. But outside of that, man, like he had no discernible health issues.
Right, right.
You know, you heard
Lived
stuff
clean,
about
vegetarian.
live very clean. But the thing that's hurting my heart is that now there's all kind of rumors saying around they're testing for drugs now, the
Well,
autopsy,
that's what toxicology.
toxicology report that the drugs are rumored.
They
I
said he
don't
didn't-
buy it
They
for
say he
that.
didn't sleep for like 5 days before he passed.
Yeah.
His brother-in-law said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and he may have had the flu. He apparently
He had
was
pneumonia. It wasn't the flu. He had pneumonia.
the flu.
He had a walking
You could die
pneumonia.
from the flu or
You can die from the pneumonia.
Yeah.
That's what laid another one of our heroes, Heavy D, down. He flew for he had a walking pneumonia that got bad and it got into his lungs and it just it
And
took him out.
he was at the pharmacy before he passed a couple of times. Like early, the reports were early in the morning, waiting for them to open. So I mean, you know, being sick, medication, no sleep. I don't know what he was eating. I mean, everything could have a perfect storm. You know what I mean?
It's a perfect storm, and all it takes is one
You know,
mistake.
that footage of him recently at the Warriors game when he walked through the joint with his fro and
Mhm.
them
Oh,
shades
Shut that game
and
down.
the joint and
Shut it down.
he had the little leg limp with the cane.
Yeah.
Yo, it was just like, yo, man, like,
Come on, man.
like that's the uncle joint.
Yeah.
When you see your fly
That's
uncle
That's
coming with a little brown bag with the can in it, but he still got his Applejack on and he had his chucks.
And
You
you
know what
can't
I
even
mean?
roast him.
And
You can't
it's,
even roast
no,
him.
but
You can't even roast him.
it's fly though.
Right.
He in his
He's
bag.
on his
Just
on
in his bag.
level.
He just
He's
in his
on
bag.
his level.
Yeah.
But when I
can't even say nothing
see
about
him walk through that game, yo, and it's like he just comes in and his presence and his joint is just like so. You know, swag is a new, but his swag is just so off the
Swag
meters.
is
And he had
on
the
1,000
joy, he had a
all
joy
the
with him.
time.
He just walked through like,
Okay. All right. So let's get into the fashion part.
Can I get my
Because-
three? Can I get my three?
Oh yeah. And then we'll jump into the fashion of Prince, because that's a whole nother conversation.
I'm gonna keep it basic, man. And
Go ahead. What you got?
my number 3 is Scandalous.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard.
Adore.
My Adore's in there. I'm gonna take Adore out for the sake of just this. My number 2, I'm gonna make it Pop Life because I love
That's a
Pop
great
Life.
song.
I love Pop Life.
That's an
And my
absolute
number
great
1 is
song.
gonna
Number
be
one is
so
what?
cliche,
What?
but it's gonna be When Doves Cry.
Oh, so
Okay,
you going
I'm
with
it's gonna be-
so you're going
it's-
with
I'm
songs
going to-
here.
yeah,
It's
you
impossible
want
for me.
songs
It's
here.
impossible.
But I'm
Listen,
just
I
saying,
can't even take
and
it
I
there.
thought about
I
it.
won't even try.
take
Yeah,
it
yeah.
I won't even
But
try.
I could not take
when
it there.
when I thought about my number 1 and listening over the past week, Doves Cry to me it just embodies so much of who he was, man.
Right.
The pain, the genius, the joy, like everything came out in that song.
The open
man.
book. The open book that was Prince.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It
he was
just-
an open book.
It just that
You
song-
felt his pain. You felt his
and
love.
of course,
you felt his lust.
Adore was
Yeah.
like one of the really
Yeah.
ultimate session
Oh,
songs
Come on, man.
of life.
Let me throw two more. We didn't
You could-
talk
you
about
could
when
throw
two were in love.
We
no,
did.
so
We
we
did
did
talk
say
about
when
We
two
did
were
talk
in
when
love.
two were
Yeah.
in love.
Yeah.
Did we talk If I Was Your Girlfriend?
About
Come
that.
on,
Right,
man.
right.
Who writes
What
that?
about the question of you? The
Question
of you.
But come on, take it back to If I Was Your Girlfriend. Who is writing tracks?
nobody.
He wrote that from
Nobody.
a woman. If
Nobody.
I was the chick, if I was the
That was
But
hot.
the
Yo.
lyrics were so vicious.
Yo.
Would you let me? Would you,
Yo.
Even if the problem was me,
would you run to me even if
even
that's
if I
Oh,
was-
you?
come
I
on,
was-
man.
come
Stop
on,
it.
man.
Who writes that?
You're insane. You don't
He
get
was
lyrically.
He was
You
on.
better stop.
He was
it.
on his Caitlyn Jenner. He was on his soulful Caitlyn Jenner with that one. Yeah.
I mean,
Come
you
on,
can't
man.
be serious.
That's-
That's what I'm
and-
saying. It's not even a rap.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
You're
It's
not
not
even
even a
in
rap.
this league, boy.
Yes,
And you know why it's not a
You're
rap?
not ball at
You're
all.
not. You're not.
It should be not even a
now,
discussion,
now,
boy.
and I'll tell you where you are. I'll tell you where they were in the same league, and it was still even close
Right.
on that stage. Mike was a beast on stage.
That's where.
And Prince was
That's
a
where
beast
the
on
gap.
stage.
That's where the gap
it
gets
was.
closed.
But
But Uh-huh.
in that Off the Wall documentary,
Right,
you
that's
saw
where
that
it was.
that showed some genius that Mike had.
I
But
don't
it-
even
it's
want
still-
to.
but in
I
the
don't even
studio,
want to make them
with the pen,
adversaries. Yeah. Wait.
and it just was no competition.
I don't want to make
The
them.
pen game,
Yeah.
the pen game
Sorry,
was crazy.
sorry. The pen game was too
Mike
crazy.
has moments. Prince had a lifetime
Absolutely.
with the pen skills.
Absolutely.
And-
And then Prince gonna have to make it. Prince really got to handicap himself because if you want to go head up, Prince got to put his guitar down. Because you have no rap. You ain't picking up no instruments, dog.
I'm about to
So if you
say.
want to go head up,
Head up.
you're gonna have to tell Prince to put
And
his
Wait a
guitar
minute.
the
down.
drumsticks, and put the
Wait a
drumsticks
And the
down.
keyboard,
And
the
keep
horn,
going, and
and
keep going,
and
and
the
keep
flute,
going.
and the sax,
And the
trumpet,
xylophone,
and what
and-
else?
And the
Man,
triangle,
everything,
and the
son.
triangle.
Man,
And
he
the
did
triangle.
everything. And taught himself in 2
Yes.
days. Taught himself
Now,
everything.
to Mike's
Everything.
defense, Mike had a tremendous ear. He had a legendary ear.
Absolutely.
A lot of
Yes,
stuff
indeed.
Mike did was very similar to James
Yes,
Brown,
yes.
where he did it phonetically. Like, yo,
Sure.
I needed like.
And just hear it. Yes.
Yeah, I need
Sure.
that. He had an
Sure.
incredible
Sure.
ear,
Sure.
and he could
You're right.
translate that to musicians
It's
and
just-
producers
when
to
you
get what
just
he
go-
wanted.
when you
That's a
just do-
skill set in
Right.
itself.
Absolutely. I gotta respect
When
it.
you do the angel sent from heaven, who is a
Right.
musician
Come on.
checklist,
Right.
you're gonna go, and then you're gonna just stop.
And then you just
keep
keep
going.
going.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Because it's just,
Yeah, the ledger's not gonna add
And
up.
I- and I
it's
hope-
not a fair comparison.
and I hope that this untimely passing opens eyes of people, man. I
You
really
have
do.
to. You
Because
have to.
you have to
Listen to
research
that.
this
Hear
dude.
that?
You
do?
gotta
Computer
research
blue.
this dude.
You
Oh,
can't be
come on,
serious.
man.
You gotta
You're playing.
research this
Computer
guy,
blue.
man.
Darling Nikki.
Come on, please.
That's one of my
Oh,
Red
yeah,
Corvette,
yeah,
Darling Nikki.
absolutely.
Like
Darling
the top 20 that's been heard throughout the world for all. are all
it's in stone.
ridiculous.
It's in stone.
Are all ridiculous.
It's
But
in
then when
stone.
you come to like 7,
That's
and
what I
the,
mean.
all
Stu,
them
that's what I
joints.
mean. And you gotta
That's when
remind
it
you,
just
like,
goes down the chart.
remember the joint he did? I love Bizarre. You got
Yes.
joints that are just
Yes.
like, you can't be serious. And then I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man is one of my all-time threes. I mean, when you talk about just a favorite song to hear,
Great song.
when I hear that song,
Great
to hear
song,
it,
airy and just
it's just great, man. It's just
yeah.
the lyrics. I mean,
Man.
and then it's too much, man. It's too much. Come on, man. It's too much. It's too much.
You know, and I don't want to pit them against each other in a death match because they're both beautiful artists.
Yeah.
But I will say this:
Yeah.
the thing I get from them, and you brought this up a second ago, and watching the Off the Wall documentary,
which was excellent.
and when I watch early stuff of Prince, the thing that they had, the common bond they both had, is when they were young, hungry artists, the energy was enough to light a city block.
Oh yeah.
When you watch that Michael Jackson documentary, when they had that footage from the Forum in the Oakland Coliseum, him coming up to that first song.
Well,
what was that first song he came to? It was a Day and Night he came
I think
out
it was
to.
Day and Night when they were
That energy with his brothers.
You got me working day and night.
Yo, that energy,
Yeah,
that
very
energy,
vicious.
and then
That
let me
was very
finish real
vicious,
quick.
David.
And then when you watch early Prince, when he was rocking out with Des Dickerson in the first
Dr. Fink
compilation,
and all those
the
cats,
first
yeah.
compilation of the
Because it wasn't Revolution.
The Revolution.
Yeah, but
They were Revolution.
No,
they were Revolution. That
When you
first
talking about his band, Eric Leeds and those
with Eric
guys,
Leeds,
those cats
Des
was down from day
Dickerson,
one.
Dr. Fink.
They were there from day one.
When he had the panties, when he had the trench coat,
sure.
and the G-string with the thigh high
and that boy
boots.
was knocking mics up. You
Listen.
gotta watch that performance he did on Saturday Night Live after the end of the song.
When he rocked out, knocked the mics off. I remember that. The straight hair, they had the picked out hair.
David,
Yo, that energy. You were like, I don't know who this is, but I just gotta jump out this window right now. I just gotta jump out a window right now because that energy cannot be contained.
Fellas,
he was nasty.
we didn't even get to the flicks.
Right,
we didn't even get to the movies.
Well, Michael had the Yellow Brick Road.
We didn't get to the movies. It's not even. Yeah, you can't even. But I'm just saying, like, of course, Purple Rain is just off the chart.
But when I say this about Purple Rain, that taught you the business, and that's all I'm gonna say.
What's that?
It's Purple Rain taught you the business.
Taught you the business.
Because the scene with Apollonia, it stands in every young man's consciousness when you're with a woman on how to seduce a woman.
Raise your hand right now if you mimic
and I know you
Prince and Apollonia in that scene. How many people try to copy that scene? Raise
Well,
your
first
damn
of all-
hand and don't you lie.
And I'm gonna tell you right now.
Mark, come in camera and raise your hand and
I'm gonna
show.
tell you what.
There
David,
it is.
David,
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you what. Prince has a signature move, and I know every man. There's been men that's done it before, but when he's standing behind Apollonia,
that's what I'm talking
and
about.
he's coming from
That's what
behind,
I'm talking about.
Every man, and that's
why I said
when
raise
do
your
that
hand.
now, I think about that.
Raise your hand.
It burned in my consciousness. Snoop.
Everybody
Even
watching
now,
Build and Destroy.
When you perform that
Every
aspect,
man
you
watching Build and
still
Destroy.
think about it
Raise
right
your
now.
damn hand
You get
if
credit
you
points for
mimic
that.
the scene where Prince came behind
Yes,
Apollonia
you
in the
do.
basement bedroom.
David, you think about Prince every time you do.
With the moaning and screeching
Every
soundtrack
time
playing
you
in the
do.
background.
Yes.
But you know
Sound
what?
like she's
When
having
she
a
called
good
him
time.
King Kong.
Which sounds like he's having a good time.
King Kong.
What did you do to them? She's crying. She's crying. It's backwards. No. Stop. No. The whole
King
thing.
Kong.
Don't. Touch the chest. Don't. Leave that little interplay, that little coy interplay.
Oh,
I have
Come
another
on,
disturbing.
man.
I have
Come on.
another disturbing.
Imagery.
Not imagery. No, another disturbing fact.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys have experienced the same thing, that you may talk to people and they just have no clue of who Prince is. Like I mean, you know, they know some
You talking
songs,
about young
but
kids?
young, but not even young, like
They
in their
care less.
30s
They
or whatever.
care
Like
less.
and you're just like.
We have
they're
two
like-
people through social media that raised their hand. They
Oh,
mimic that scene as well. And I'm sure
And
there's more.
it just really
I'm
hurt
sure there's
me, man.
more.
Like,
You should be
I
an
see
adult,
you,
Snoop,
Chuck.
and not
That
be
people
down.
just-
If you're an adult, if you're
But I
paying
mean,
taxes,
people
you
that
should be
don't-
impacted by
people that
Prince's death.
don't know, and I've actually spoken to a couple of older folks that knew the top 20 Prince, but they were like, he was okay, you know, because Prince was a little eccentric.
Absolutely.
So
He
some
was.
people,
Some people are lost.
some people coming from the Temptations and the Four
The
Tops
transition
and all
was
that,
tough.
they weren't able to really grab on the Prince as they should. So it's like a little older and they're like a little younger, and it seems like the consensus
It's a small bridge.
is like maybe like almost like 45-ish.
That's a small window.
45
small
is
window
to
of
like
people. Yeah, that weren't
60 right now, and it's but it expands.
Right.
But I'm just saying, some people that and it really hurt me when like, you know, I'm like, you don't know my uncle? Like my uncle was that boy. Like how you live around the way and you don't know my uncle?
You almost want me to make a T-shirt with Prince on it. You know, a purple T-shirt.
Right.
Instead of putting Prince in purple, I just want to put Uncle on top.
Uncle Prince.
Just put Unc.
Uncle
Just
Prince.
put Unc. That's Unc. Yeah, you're right. That's you called it, man. That's
I'm
Unc.
down. Let's get them made.
Yeah, man. I mean, everybody raised their hands for that, for you know, trying to copy some of Prince's sexual exploits on the screen.
It's definitely.
I don't think anybody's gonna
Nobody's
raise
ever
their
had his
hand.
stable. His
I don't.
stable.
I don't think anybody's gonna raise their hand and say I tried on some lace slacks,
Right.
or a cutoff asymmetrical, you know, bomber sweatshirt. You know, like Prince took it there, but
As Charlie
again,
Murphy
he took
said.
it there as much with his clothes as he did his music. He was not about boundaries.
Right.
He was not about limitations. He was not about being classified. If I want to wear a chiffon tank top,
Then I wear it.
damn it, I'm gonna wear a chiffon tank top.
Yeah.
If I want to cover my eye half lace
Yeah. That's fine.
and put a symbol on the side of my thing that says slave,
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And how about that? We didn't even get into that whole period
How
when
just
he was the
immersed in
symbol.
Slave
the
period.
When he was the
music
symbol.
business.
When he was the symbol.
And how ahead of his time he
ingenious
was
that
with
was.
that.
He was
Yes.
not
He was ahead of the
he was not
curve.
going to be bullied.
Come on, man.
He
He
was one of the sparks that
Yes,
started
he
this
was.
whole independent movement
man.
that dominates music now. He was at the crest of that.
And he's still not even now. You can't find all of his videos on YouTube. He was so in control. You just can't go on. His stuff is like
It's not
control.
Not easily
It's
found.
my
I'm
stuff.
hoping that things start to pop
I
up.
would like
though.
that stuff.
I need
Hopefully
things to
now.
pop
We
up.
need some things to pop up. Definitely.
Well, you know
Because
what? You
a lot
beat
of
me
the stuff
to
you
that.
can't get
You
anywhere.
cannot. If anything, the one, you know, we're trying to find some silver lining in his loss. One of the things you guys just touched on it, that's going to unlock the vault in the years to come of music we might not have ever been privy to.
The unreleased tracks from the Batman
man,
era,
come on.
or from the other
Love
albums
Sexy
they making from
Sessions.
Sign of the Times. It was a third
Right.
album that didn't make it.
wow.
I'm
Black
just saying
Album,
stuff like
Black
that.
Album
Because
period.
each album,
They said it's
you know,
a vault.
Prince has to pair his albums down.
It's
This is
a
a man
vault.
that's thousands of songs.
Right.
So if a album calls for 14 tracks, there are at least 10 to 12 that didn't make that album.
Didn't make that
That are
album.
sitting there, David.
That are sitting
That
there.
are sitting there.
That's
You're talking about enough to sustain you, Snoop?
and with any artist, they are cutting the fat. But there's going to be some gems in
Oh,
there.
I promise.
There's going to be some
Yeah,
gems.
any
probably
artist
got-
gonna
he's
have
probably
both.
got
Yeah.
some
But
songs
Prince
in
is
his
gonna be
favorites.
legendary.
There's going to be
He's
gems.
got some songs that
Gonna
are
make
probably
it-
his favorite.
And back to fashion, in the immortal words of Charlie Murphy, you know he didn't get that shirt from the men's section. That's not from the men's section.
No, he got it from the Prince
He got
section.
that from the
He got it from the
he
Prince
got that
section.
from the European
Not
girls
even
Androgynous
girls
section.
petite
Not even
girls
there.
petite
Androgynous.
section.
It's
Not even
androgynous.
there. He didn't get it from there. I don't know where he got
Androgynous.
it
The
from.
androgynous section that he just
Yeah.
shot
The
from.
symbol from the symbol.
Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah.
I mean, this boy, you ever see the one video, like when they did the marathon of videos that were playing for him, they were showing one when his baby, one of his babies was born, and he's gassing up the M3 BMW, and he's got a winter coat on. He didn't wear normal parkas.
Right,
He
right.
had an MPG down joint on,
Right.
with the symbol on the back, you know, custom made, said Burr on the joint going down. You know what I mean?
Can we take a small pop life break?
Pop
Life
Life is a
break.
great song.
All right, building straight. This is what you call. This is a pop life break. We're gonna let this roll. You know, we're gonna take this to our first commercial break. Just let this rock. Let you be alone with your thoughts about Prince, your favorite songs. We talked about it. You hear how much we loved him. We're gonna miss you. We're gonna go to silence and just let this roll. Build Destroy. We'll be right back.
said, that's a person invented this, man.
Yeah.
No one else invented that. When you come
When
through,
you come back,
when you
one
come
of these
through,
boats, you gotta be on your
no, you can stand it up. It don't matter. Stand it
I'm trying to be
anyway.
just like Prince.
It can be standing up. Look at me behind his kiss on her neck
Yeah,
behind the
but she
bed.
was on her knees.
Right,
So
yes,
short. He
yes,
was singing.
that's true.
Right,
That's it. That's
right.
yes. She was on her knees. Yes,
Think I ain't
on the
doing
bed.
that?
I
With
know
the
you
mirror
did.
and
I know you did.
What?
I know you did.
Lived it. Tried to live it.
Gun purveyor, so
Oh,
you
man,
know.
come on. Come on.
That's his. And when you do it, you
Come on.
think of Prince.
Yes.
You're thinking of Prince at that moment.
Yes, sir. Think of Prince at that moment. What would Prince do?
Pause, man.
Yeah, pause.
But you're definitely thinking of him.
WWPD. Bracelet. What would Prince do? What would Prince do? In this situation.
Yes. Oh, man.
It would be nice for your community points. You would find Prince story.
Oh, yeah. How about that? Yeah, man.
Like going on.
Yeah.
As warm as this in here, this potato salad might not be no good by the time we get out of here tonight.
I know.
As hot as it is in this
Put it in
joint.
the refrigerator. You gotta put it in the
They got a
fridge
fridge
out
in
there. I think there's a fridge out there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm be afraid this ptomaine.
Yeah, no, y'all should be good. Y'all should be good for right now. Y'all should be okay. There's a fridge out there.
Give it a shot. Oh, you can't go on like that, man. Come on.
Turn the lights down.
What are you playing CDs in these days in your house? You got to scramble like I do.
Yeah,
Find something
yeah,
else.
yeah. I got
You playing stuff on the PlayStation.
So am I. So am I.
Yeah.
That's how I see
I was like, y'all can you have a dedicated That's what.
the fridge is no good.
Leave it out there, that'll be cool. Ooh, I like those slacks. It's gonna be a long summer. Wait, this is any indication? We're gonna come in like tank tops and drawers over the Can you hear out this?
Sing it, y'all. Let people think I'm kinda cute, but that don't compute when it comes to what I owe you. It does not compute. It does not compute. What's the hang up? What's the scam? But you just think I'm just another one of your fans. Does not compute. Does not compute. Must be something
look, you stream it, Jones, me?
same way that I've had.
You stretching my glasses?
It looks pretty fly.
Why else would I wanna
Come on, man. I put extra swag on it.
Now they gonna be like this.
I put extra swag.
May 3rd. It's
Let's do it.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
Yo, mind if I just jam?
Build and Destroy Radio. All things Prince this evening. Saying goodbye to the legendary one. We're back on the air. If you'd like to give us a call, lines are wide open. To give us your Prince memory or anything else you want to talk about this evening, 215-472-0882 is the number. Build and Destroy Radio live on Ustream. Download the Ustream app on your mobile device. Ustream.tv on your PC. Type in Build and Destroy Radio and the show comes up live. You'll see Derek. You'll see Mark. or at least Mark's hands, and you'll see myself, the Build and Destroy team. And we just kind of blacked out on Prince right now. Just gotta let this out. This is very cathartic for everyone assembled in the Lemon Drop Lounge this evening to talk about Prince, to hear Prince, to just let it all out, man. Your love, your sadness, your sorrow, your joy, everything about Prince. I mean, you know, there are other things going on in the world, hard to believe, but things have been happening. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, we're gonna pull up to Derek's community corner and let Derek do his thing. What you got, man?
Absolutely. And keeping in line with the Prince theme here, we have some events coming up. We have special guest DJ Matthew Law is going to be dropping some Prince gems at Silk City.
Wow.
Friday, 10 to 2 a.m.
A Prince theme. We got a Prince theme community corner.
Street.
Is the corner purple?
Absolutely.
The corner
Should
purple.
be.
Yeah.
Tickets are only $5. So
Whoa.
that's happening right there.
That's this Friday?
That's this Friday, yeah. It's coming up this Friday. And then we also have a quizzo for those that are Prince experts. Prince themed quizzo. Brian Hickey, who hosts quizzo at East Falls Billy Murphy's Irish Saloon, announced that May 3rd's edition will be Prince themed. That's going to be 8:30 p.m. May the 3rd.
Okay.
At Billy Murphy's Irish Saloon, 3335 Conrad Street. That event is free. So
Very
two
nice.
events for those that looking to get their Prince fix on. Don't stop. We Prince all.
Didn't I
all
tell you
year.
guys what I wanted? I wanted to be in a sweat box, some dirty, grimy little
Some DJ
situation
you know,
with
I
a
think you
real
got
with
it.
a
I think you might have found
DJ,
it, man.
just spinning some
Yeah.
some classic
Yeah,
Prince,
yeah.
just like
Somebody that knows what they're doing. That
No,
can
yeah.
play
You
like
might have
those
found it, Snoop.
Know
Get
what
off
they're doing.
remixes
Yeah.
and
I
stuff
had to
like that.
investigate.
I
That's
got-
on my
yeah.
birthday, so I might
Yeah, wow.
that might be a little thing pop through.
Yeah,
Silk City would be perfect.
I know.
You gonna hang out with me
I'm
Friday?
DJ. I'm DJ.
You got a thing?
Yeah.
You spinning?
Yeah.
You gonna hang out with
I'll
me?
be out of town, David. Remember, I got my uncle's thing this weekend in
Okay.
Jersey.
Alright. I'll hang out by my
Otherwise,
dog.
I'd love to be with you, man. I
Oh,
told you.
yeah, I
that.
would've went to
I told
that.
you.
I think I am
I
gonna
would
check that
have
out.
definitely
man.
do that.
Yeah. I'll
That's a
go.
DJ you said, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely. That's what we got.
Yeah. So like I said, you know, there has been other things going on. We did our civic duty, all three of us, like I said earlier. I got my Spanish I voted today sticker.
The Vodadero.
Hey, votado hoy. I voted today. All three of us did.
Yes.
Pennsylvania is the biggest state of the five where the primaries are going on right now. And I like yours. Yours is real stylish. And, you know, just to give some facts, after enduring weeks of barnstorming, television ads, and rallies, Pennsylvania voters head to the primary polls today, or they did today. Polls shut down, I think, at 8 o'clock, to make choices in a lively presidential contest, a U.S. Senate race going down to the wire, and other campaigns that could reshape the political and government landscapes. Did you guys vote? Another thing that was on tap that kind of caught me off guard. 3 very compelling questions on the ballot for the primary. Did you see the questions?
I'm not in Philadelphia, so I didn't see.
One of those, they were like state
I
questions.
didn't see.
No? You
I didn't
missed
see
it?
any
You
questions.
didn't see
I
the
didn't. I
questions?
missed the question too. David. I might have picked the consensus. I don't think I. A lot of times I don't pay a lot of attention to
I
it.
didn't see.
Yeah,
Well, I went
3
through that.
very compelling. Well, you're not going to have it because you're out in the counties. But me and you, they had 3 questions. One of the questions was, should Philadelphia traffic court be put to an end?
Yeah, I heard about that.
That was a question. That was a big one.
I wouldn't get that question.
There was another one about an African American board on, I forget what it was about, but that was a big question, and I almost missed them too, because I was about to hit vote and step out of the booth, and I was like, wait, what was this in the right hand corner? I was like, I started reading, I was like, okay, these are major.
Yeah.
So I voted on the questions.
Okay.
So you know, Pennsylvania has the most electoral votes, so that's the biggest one of the 5 states to go along with Delaware. Is Jersey included in the primary? Jersey. And a couple others, I don't know all 5, but 5 states, Pennsylvania being the biggest. This will probably solidify things, and now, you know, the candidates are seeing the forest through the trees and trying to align up and restructure voting patterns and stuff. Some are setting up to wage war against Donald Trump to make sure he doesn't win. Others are lining up with Hillary because she's obviously coming. It's going to be Donald probably and Hillary in the fall. So I hope everybody voted, did their thing today. You know, I don't got to give the whole speech. You know, it's important to do it. You need to get off your butt and vote and do your thing. And I hope everybody did it. Build and Destroy exercises their electoral freedoms that many suffered for.
Yes.
Vote.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. There you go. Since we're on a music theme, the Beehive spoke last week. One, Beyonce did her thing on TV, and it seemed like she might have voted thumbs down on her husband, excuse me, and things that she's been through. But you know, Beyonce, again, we talk about transparency making for great art.
Yeah.
Beyonce put it out there last Saturday with she dropped some lemonade and spilled the tea on things going on in her life, you know. And I wonder how many of us will be that brave to put ourselves on Front Street like that to make great art. You know, I mean, it's obvious that the lemonade, at the hour-long lemonade visual album that she dropped on HBO this past weekend seemed to be about some of the trials and tribulations she has been going through with her husband. We all know who her husband is, one, Sean Carter, Jay-Z. But I think a little part of it also was I think she threw a little bit of her frustrations and bewitchment with her father and his situations about having families outside of how could you split yourself between two families she spoke on. I was like, wow, B is really taking it there.
Right.
You know, talks about infidelity, she talked about cheating, she talked about, you know, how could you cheat on this, and you know, she walked around downtown with a bat and hit a lot of stuff.
Okay.
She bashed windows, she smashed in hoods, and then at the end she hit somebody because the camera said, "Boop." And then you saw a kid like did the old Smokey from Friday, like, oh, you got knocked, you know.
Okay.
I mean, it was high art. I mean, I was very impressed with it. You know, I'm a Beyonce fan. You guys said you weren't exactly going to be home in front of the TV set to watch
We're
it.
camped in front.
But it makes for good Saturday night TV, man. I gotta say,
it's compelling. I told my wife, I did have to say, you know, we don't have to be fans, but you got to at least check that out.
Yeah, you gotta check.
You owe it to yourself.
TV.
If you're a purveyor of, like you said, David, art and music and culture,
She
you don't have
combines
to
it
take
all.
it out. I don't care, you know, who you are.
Yeah.
But you know, she's one of the icons, and you really have to see
Homegirl don't
what
miss
she's what she's bringing.
So you gotta check it out.
Anything she brings,
don't
her
miss.
fans are like
She don't
hungry
miss.
chicks in the nest. They're just, you
Yeah.
know, anything she gives them, any tidbit of her persona, whether it's clothing, music, you know, just a snippet into her life. They're sitting there fiending for it, which is interesting because now Rachel Ray's catching the
Rachel
Roy, excuse me, I'm sorry, Rachel
Collateral
Ray's
damage
catching
was I was gonna talk
yeah,
about.
some of the flavor.
There has been collateral damage. Most notably, like you
the
said,
Beehive's coming
fashion
after
designer and
her.
ex-wife,
Right.
business partner,
Right.
former business partner named as Rachel Roy has been the one implicated in what Beyonce called, how does she put it, Becky with the good hair. So the Beehive
Which a lot of
buzz
people are saying
loudly.
that that's racist in and of itself.
Right.
But that's some people say
Well,
that's
we
a
know how we
racist
talk. You know
term.
how we talk.
Absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
we say
Yeah.
Becky with the good hair.
Right, sure.
So Becky with the good hair was has been outed as Rachel Roy. That's who we think it allegedly.
Right.
Rachel Roy was outed as the one that Jay-Z had an affair with, and that Beyonce has been speaking about in the Lemonade visual album. So Beyonce's rabid fans lit up Rachel Roy's social media. She had to shut down her page. She had to issue a statement. She canceled appearances this week, all because the Beehive is coming for her. Because they run.
There was a faux pas too. Yeah, well, not a faux pas. There was a mistake.
Rachel Ray.
Rachel Ray caught her.
Oh, the cook.
And the cook.
Rachel Ray
She caught
just
her.
tried it.
She caught her.
I'm doing my
Yeah,
show.
her Twitter
And
blew
listen,
up. Her Twitter blew up.
Yeah, her Rachel Ray, to her credit, quick thinking, took advantage of it. Because first she was like, I'm sitting here making frittatas, and the Beehive is coming for me. She was like, wait a minute. So she took the opportunity to post several high-end lemonade recipes.
Right.
Since it's about lemonade, Beyonce's album,
Nice.
Rachel Ray posted lemonade recipes on the thing. Maybe the Beehive's thirsty.
Right. Yeah,
Let me offer you a fine southern lemonade with a hint of hibiscus
organic,
and yes,
organic lemon, ginger, honey.
right. She did her best to diffuse the situation.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Yes.
That's class. That's class. Right?
Yeah,
that's
class. Very classy.
But yeah, man, people just they rabid fan base.
Right.
I mean, they'll attack, man. You say one thing about their idols, man, they'll attack you.
They attack. She's got one of the most rabid fan bases
Absolutely,
going.
absolutely.
You know, but and for good reason because she drops good product.
Yeah.
That was a really great visual album. Much in the same way she did with the B album,
Right.
the visual album. The tracks are strong. She's got a track with Weeknd that's Buck Noodles.
Right.
She's got a track with She's got another track that's crazy. The two standout ones, the one with the Weeknd and the reggae tinge one was bananas. Her album is really nice album, really good art, visually stunning.
Now,
It's never hard to look at.
This will be on an album.
Yeah, this is gonna be her album. She dropped the album on iTunes. I think an hour after the.
So the album's available.
The visual, it's available for
really?
sale.
Okay.
It's available for sale. I think an hour or two after the visual album was finished on HBO, it went up for sale on what's that? So, in addition to her talent and her high-end art, and speaking transparently, she's also a marketing genius because she's changed the paradigm of how you drop an album.
Yeah, man.
The days of
Tuesday's record
Tuesday,
release, and it comes out.
that's gone.
Go to FYA and
That's
purchase the album. No.
Yeah, that's gone.
No.
That's gone.
Yeah.
FYA, do the proverbial radio shout out.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, this is Beyonce. And anytime I can feel it. No, it's not.
No.
Yeah.
She drops whatever day she feels like dropping.
I listen to Frank Ski
I
in the
drop
morning.
on Thursday if I feel like it.
I drop on Saturday night.
If I feel like
I
it.
dropped on Saturday night at like 12:30
Right.
at night. And I went platinum.
Right,
Out the
so
box.
I don't need to wait till new release Tuesday to drop it
Nah,
out.
no music
That's what
Tuesday.
you want.
No more new music Tuesday.
Please,
Friday
please,
now.
exactly.
Just whenever I feel
Exactly,
like
Snoop.
I'm in
exactly.
bed. I'm gonna hit a send button
Right,
and drop this
this
right now.
album. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. She changed the paradigm,
Yeah.
much in the way that Prince changed the paradigm
Definitely.
when he put the slave on the side of his face. So you're talking about Mavericks,
Yeah.
you know, and she's another one that's far too going the game, but nobody's guaranteed tomorrow. I don't want to wish anything or put anything negative in the universe, but Beyonce already has entrenched herself as one of the artists you want to put saran wrap around her.
Definitely.
You know, since we're having that conversation.
You're right.
Which brings me to our first official Build and Destroy question for the evening. And this comes on the breast of the Lemonade visual album and the subject matter, which again talked about infidelity. Allegedly, she's speaking on Jay-Z and some other things going on in her life. My question to you guys is, what exactly was the conversation that Beyonce had when she decided she was going to throw Jay-Z under the bus? Or did she not have a conversation at all and just had a special screening session where he sat to sit there
Right.
in a stool of hot tea
Right.
and take it and watch the madness go
full
down?
of people. That probably.
Snoop, I think I go with your theory. What did you say about that?
I think Jay-Z probably it's his plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably his marketing scheme was his. He probably said, you know what we could do right now? Let's stir up some controversy. Let's nudge Kim and Kanye out. And we just do a little infidelity, make some hot tracks and videos to it, and we'll be all the buzz. And Jay will probably drop something real quick soon. Watch, he'll have a little single.
Sure.
I mean, this is my opinion, but
It's an interesting theory. It's an interesting theory.
Jay's a genius.
Yeah, he is a genius. You think it's pre-contrived or just speaking from the heart?
I think it's speaking from the heart. I think it's a little bit of speaking from the heart.
It could be.
I think it's just like she's maybe throwing subtle shade.
You think
like,
Jay
some
don't know?
uncomfortable
You think he didn't know?
Oh, I think he. Well,
Yeah, he knew.
before
He knew it was
then,
coming.
I don't think he knew.
And if he
before.
knew-
I don't think he did.
No, I think he saw.
I think he didn't know everything. I think he might have thought some things, but I don't. And I have to watch it to be fair. I got to watch
Yeah.
it. But I think he.
I want
think he
both of you
knew
to
some
watch
of
it. Give me- I
But then I
wanna
think
know.
I think she saved some private some stuff. I guess in the post production said, "Yeah, we gonna put this on when you finish." And he might not have known everything. So
I think I think that elevator incident went down a couple years ago with Solange went ham on Jay-Z in the elevator. I think Beyonce was going through a lot of turbulence right then and there, and before and after that incident. I think she probably holed herself up in one of their fabulous homes in Turks and Caicos or somewhere by herself, and she got to writing.
Right.
I think her pain came out through the pen, and then I think she went into one of her studios and just started recording that.
Right.
And I think what you have is the end result is Lemonade.
Yeah.
You know, so it obviously came from the pain of what was going on, allegedly going on, whatever. And I think she wrote, and I think she's got a hell of an album as a result. But isn't it true that most great art comes from pain?
How about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to see an artist too happy.
Prince will tell you that. I mean,
That's
I mean,
Mary J.
Prince
Blige.
will
I don't know about y'all, but Mary ain't been the
Mary-
same since she got right. Mary, that pain in my life and the drugs and that rock and roll lifestyle. KC smacking you up on the tour bus. And, you know, that made for some great art, man. And when Mary got right, her music changed a little bit.
She has a Puffy influence too.
Oh, well, Puff has it. Puff might have a smidge to do with it too. You're right, Snoop.
Them tracks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but
It's a fair assessment.
yeah. I mean, I love Mary to death, but
Right.
I'll take
Pain breeds good art.
yeah, I'll take
Pain-
Mary. I'll take
pain-
Mary any day over No More Drama.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Painting, when you paint, you get your clay game on and you mad. You make some good ashtrays, you know what I mean?
Right.
Mm.
You know, quite, so you trying to say that you don't quite feel the pain of, ooh! When the ladies get up, let's go, girl. So you don't really feel the pain. You're not sitting there with a whiskey
I
and a
don't.
tear in
I
the dark.
Oh, God.
With a whiskey, you know, being melancholy, and that's
Exactly.
really quite at you.
No, the E and J don't go down as smooth right that way. While I'm trying to house dance
That's
in
a
the
good
corner.
song too. It just don't have the weight.
That's a good song,
It just don't
too.
have
It's
the
a
weight.
quiet,
It
you
just
know,
don't have the weight.
Yeah. It's not.
The idea of a little tumbler of
There
gin
might be some
doesn't
little
really-
something missing. I don't know. If something's amiss, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel hair on when I listen to. I don't feel hair on pain when I.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, so,
I thought it was just me. I'm
Yeah,
not
pain
sure.
might be. Yeah, might be a key ingredient there.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Okay. I got you.
Speaking of pain,
Yes.
Kelly Ripa came back on air again
Yeah.
on live, expressed her pain about the situation that went down
Mike.
upon Michael Strahan's departure and the ill-handled situation. It never ceases to amaze me how these people get to these huge positions. You know, the head of ABC, and, you know, I'm major broadcasting over the whole Western Hemisphere region, but they still do the dumbest things. Don't you think somebody that's put in 20-something years and is the backbone of a TV show might get the benefit of the doubt? You might want to tell her when your co-host is about to roll. The head of ABC kept everyone in the dark and made them take a sworn thing of secrecy about Michael Strahan's departure. Everybody, including Kelly Ripa, the co-host. And to her credit, she was pissed about the situation, walked out of the show, as she should have been, came back today and explained herself, I'll say quite admirably.
David, let me get sure I'm clear. So Kelly had known beforehand that he was leaving?
She did not know.
Oh, okay. But,
Yeah,
the CEO or the executive,
The head of ABC.
he told everybody else. Everybody else knew.
Yeah, Strahan. No, nobody knew.
Who did he swear to secrecy? Who did he-
Strahan. She's Strahan, like one other major executive with the show, associated with the show. Those are the only three people
Because
that
they
knew.
negotiated that new deal with GMA while he was still on with him. So they knew
Exactly.
it was
So
an
they
instant
knew.
roll. When he rolled, he was getting that new
Yeah.
raise and getting the new position.
And
so.
Kelly found out like the day Michael Strahan said it, and Kelly stood there like, "What the f?" Like, this is the second time it's happened to her because no one told her when Regis Philbin was leaving her first co-host, and she was upset, but she didn't have the leverage she has now. So she took some time. She came back on air for the first time since Michael Strahan made the announcement. Michael apologized profusely about, you know, the phone call he made. All the executives apologized to her. She came on air and repeated herself quite well. She said, as an employee of 22 years, I think I have the right to step back and collect my thoughts for a minute. You know, and she said, I was pissed. but we move on, you know. So I mean, but Michael Strahan's still gonna roll out a boatload of cash to GMA. Coincidentally, Kelly Ripa's had several offers to leave the show and go to GMA herself, and she's refused to leave because she's loyal to the show and loyal to that brand, and she didn't want to leave out.
Yeah.
So I'm staying here with this. I like what I'm doing here.
I like some integrity there.
Yeah.
It's not always about the
So
cash. I mean, my God, we already making
Yeah.
7 figures.
Yeah.
You need another 11 mil or 12
all
mil.
right.
on
How
top
much
of
more
that?
money do you need? I
She's
mean, Michael
already
Strahan
back
is
in-
already. They already
Absolutely,
backed the truck
definitely,
up for the dude.
definitely.
I mean, and I'm
Yeah, that's a
all
lot
I'm all
for
with
you.
progress and keep
Yeah, and I'm
moving.
all about getting your paper.
Get your
But at the
paper.
same time, you know, happiness day, what we talked about earlier before on air.
Happiness
you know,
is
to be the
relative.
richest cat, but I want to be happy.
I want to be happy.
And have the check.
Right.
Does that necessarily make you happy to leave
Right.
and to cause such upheaval and
Right.
turmoil with somebody you're supposed to care about?
Right.
Is it worth that?
Yeah.
Is it worth abandoning the people who love you and love your brand that you've created with Kelly and Michael?
Or do you just
show,
have no allegiance to
and just
anyone?
go for the highest dollar, man?
Yeah, you're a gun for hire.
Smacks of greed a little bit.
And
Man.
I don't know about
gotta-
you. I had a chance to watch a couple minutes of it before I rolled out to work this morning, and you could feel like there seemed to be like a little tinge of resentment towards Michael Strahan throughout the audience. Like you didn't hear any boos,
Yeah.
but you know how you can feel something.
Yeah.
Like they were kind of like hanging on Kelly's words, and she, you know, and Michael kind of looked like the heel a little bit, which really, I mean, I guess it wasn't his fault. He got thrown in the middle a little,
Yeah.
you know, but
I always say to my wife, I said, you know, a lot of people with a lot of degrees sit around a really big table and make the dumbest decisions.
decisions. What, yeah,
They make the
exactly.
dumbest decisions.
Yeah.
And they leave the room, they leave the meeting, and they're like, yes, like we nailed this
Yeah.
one. And it's the
Yeah.
dumbest thing ever. Like,
I'll give you an example. At some point in the 70s and late 60s, a group of people sat at that boardroom you talked about, and they came with this great idea. I know what we can do. We can put a bunch of disenfranchised, poor people on top of one another, and we'll call them housing projects. That's a great idea.
stack them up.
We'll stack them up high. We'll put them on top of each other and let their pain and sorrow multiply in a multitude for years and
Dark
years.
Elevators
Yeah.
on the south side of Chicago.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll just put them, and
Stack them right on top.
yeah, we'll stack them right on top of each other, and they'll love it.
Yeah.
There you go. And we'll call them, boom, housing projects.
Okay.
There you go. Here's your housing projects. And then all of a sudden, people are like, that's not such a good idea. It's a festering a cesspool of crime and degradation. And no one's happy here. We gotta change this. You might want to look at that one again. You know,
Exactly.
like you said, these people make a lot of money to do some dumb things, man. And I want to know, where can I send my resume to so I can have one of those
Yeah,
jobs too.
absolutely get a lot of money. I can
Exactly.
make dumb decisions with the best of them.
And there you go.
Pay me accordingly. Yeah.
I remember 4 years. I'm not gonna talk. Never mind. I'm not that transparent. I'm not gonna. I've done plenty of dumb things. Trust me. So, yeah. So she's staying. The future of the show is unknown. And then the other thing that comes from this, there's rumors that they were never that close. I mean, she needs to get an Emmy. They're saying they never rocked like that with one another. And then when those that red light came on, said on there, like Kelly Ripa, Michael, straight, they came out.
That's being a professional.
I guess an ultimate professional.
In front of the camera, you gotta be a professional.
Yeah.
Even doing the radio, man. Just one thing I learned is like a lot of days I come here, and I'm not in a good mood.
You don't
man.
like us.
And
I mean, you don't rock with us like
yeah.
that. And then,
But you gotta you gotta turn it on.
You
You
gotta
gotta
turn
turn
it
it on. You gotta do what you
And
gotta
turn
do.
on you do, Mark.
Yeah.
are we
But
that
I'm
bad?
thinking
Are we that unbearable?
no, not I'm saying
Their
for
problem?
the people.
That I don't know about.
But I listen to people like on an everyday show. You gotta go through things in your life.
You do.
And you're on every day.
You do.
And for those 4 hours they're on, like you never know.
And it seems like the
And
sweetest job
yeah.
going, but everybody
But
goes.
you
can have some
it's-
tough days.
It's not really a call out situation.
No,
like
man.
I'm gonna take a mental health day. No, you gotta be on the.
Nah,
on the
they
air.
do it. They do it. They just call something else on the air.
No, most of they have.
Willard's under the weather this week, so we'll be
Well, I mean,
that
you're
nigga had a
sick,
nervous
you're sick,
breakdown.
yeah.
Excuse my word, I got a little loose. Yeah, sorry about that. But people have things that go on,
Yeah,
and
that's
they,
what I'm
you know,
saying.
they have.
You
Like
still
when
gotta
Kelly
come
went out,
and get in front of the camera
right? It's
and
not
smile
easy.
and put it
Get
on.
that tears of a clown sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why being a job like you can relate to this, a comedian is so difficult. You know, comedians, you know, they come on, funny man, make me laugh.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And they're going through stuff in their lives. And again, we talk about pain making for great art. Some of the greatest comedians were some of the most torn people. Freddie Prinze,
even their subject matter is usually
Bobcat Goldthwait, Richard Pryor. I mean, all the great ones had inner struggles and turmoil, which made for great comedy.
Absolutely.
Go figure. Yeah. So, Prince classic play right now. Come on, this the one. This is my entree-vu to Prince. Was right here.
Really? Wow.
My sister came home with this album. She proceeded to play this for like 36 straight times, for maybe 36 straight hours in the house. So my father was like, turn that damn.
Oh.
And Prince, I always just look at that cover. I was like, why ain't got no clothes on a white horse? Like, what the hell is that about? Like, and why is his hair like my sister's perm? He got a flip better than my sister's.
Right.
That was my introduction to Prince. That I Want to Be Your Lover album. But, you know, I mean, come on, man. You're talking about a time back to Prince again, but when he dropped in the scene, man, you're talking about the inception of hip-hop breaking through. You're talking about punk rock. You're talking about new wave. A lot of different forms were coming to fruition. And Prince kicked the door and like, yo, this is what I got to say. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna be labeled.
Come on,
You're not
man.
gonna put me in a box, man.
He rebended the genres.
Yeah. I compared his impact and then bending and genres and everything very similar to the way PE crashed it. But I mean, in a way that they just kicked in the door and said, this is what we got to say. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, everybody knew PE was hip hop, but they had something to say. And they were very different. You know, the S1W stepping and all that. You know, Prince was that way with a thumb on, thigh boots, and a trench coat with spikes on the shoulder. You know what I mean? And permed hair. You know, did his
He had
thing.
the butt cheeks showing out. The butt cheeks.
He rocked. He rocked, man. He was like, I'm not
But all
about.
you had to do, you took one look at his stable. You couldn't even go with it. You couldn't even go
Exactly.
begin to
Couldn't
form
even
your
take it.
mouth and call him get. You couldn't even do it.
He took
All
it.
you look at his stable. So with anybody that's stable like that, you would want to be that way too. Then, I guess, you know.
Yeah, I mean, come
Please,
on,
I
man.
mean, you look at
He
his
took some
resume.
cats there with the lace on. You saw
Yeah,
those cats.
sure.
Same way AI took cats there. You know, yeah, cats going up in the club with arm sleeves on, matching that outfit.
Yes, indeed.
Prince had cats going to the club with thumbs on.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, go figure.
Lace ruffled shirts.
D'Artagnan shirts and bell-bottom lace pants.
Squad rolling in like the 11 Musketeers.
Oh, I
Like we rolling in deep, 11 Musketeers.
know. Exactly. Prince.
He exemplified that dance. Remember that dance? Everybody, that little dance. Everybody,
Oh, yeah.
That was like, you know,
Yeah, with the guitar. Yeah.
everybody did that
Everybody
dance
rocked
like
out
in
like
the
that.
80s, that new funk
That's
dance.
right. Oh man, listen. What you gonna do? Again, real quick, this is 88.1. You're listening to the Build and Destroy radio program on WPEB. The number to dial is 215-472-0882. We'd love to hear from somebody. Give us their thoughts on Prince and anything else going on in the world that they want to talk about. Keep it on the musical theme. DJ Quick,
Yeah.
legend in the game. You know, West Coast pioneer. You know,
Producer extraordinaire.
yeah, producer extraordinaire. Doesn't get the props that he deserves. He was recently on the radio. He was on the airwaves. I think was he on Sirius XM?
I don't know which one.
Yes, backspin. He was on the radio on the West Coast, and he had some very poignant things to say about Kanye West and his career and the life of Pablo. Basically, what Quick said was that Kanye West's Life of Pablo album is overhyped. And that Kanye's celebrity supersedes his talent level right now. Because Kanye is a Kardashian. He's considered a Kardashian. He's capitalizing on that. That's why his star is so bright. And he spoke about Prince's head being up Kim's butt. Kanye. So he basically feels that Kanye's art is being superseded by his star. So that's our another Build and Destroy question for the evening. Do you agree with DJ Quick's comments about Kanye, his latest album, Life of Pablo, and is he more of a star, or is he the musical genius that we have espoused him to be in the past on Building Straight Radio.
For me personally, I agree with everything he says 100%, except for the fact that Life of Pablo's butt.
That's a
You're
great album.
saying about that. Let's be clear, you are wrong about that. Everything else with, I'm giving you a full 100% endorsement.
But is the part you agree with, is it accentuating because his star is shining bright, his celebrity is it maybe not you in your musical acumen, but you think it's captivating other people that don't really even understand?
It is. I mean, it's captivating because he is. I mean, Kanye's. I mean, for good or bad, he's aligned with some of the most popular pop figures in the world. So by default, that almost makes him a pop star. Right. I wish that, for my sake and for my own selfish reasons, I wish he would differentiate himself from that to some extent. Yeah. I know he has to. That's his wife. But I just wish, I wish he'd be a little more hood about it. Yeah, be a little more hood about it. Right. Be You don't need no joy. You don't need, exactly, Dave. You don't need no joy to make your star shine brighter. Oh, yeah, and I almost think that a lot, I mean, there are many people that speculate their marriage is a sham, and he married her because she's the hottest hot brand girl. So, this
he
wanted
that. A Beyonce.
Far be it for me to speak on another man's marriage. I'm not going to say what's what. I'm not a fan of hers. But the fact that he is married to her, it lends credence to what Quick says, in my opinion. Right. I think it has to be valid because right now he's known more for being Kim Kardashian's husband than for being a dope producer and dope artist. If Kanye let his music focus, this man, I mean, he's already on top of the game. But if he was as more, I think, his focus into his art and cut down some of the fluff and some of the unnecessary accoutrements and just focus more on the music side of it, I think he'd probably be more doper than it was. I love Pablo. Yeah. But I think that's why I got.
Or at least Pablo would get to do it deserves.
Maybe instead of being
drowned in
Kardashian's husband.
Yeah, instead of being drowned in the sauce of the extracurriculars with Kim Kardashian and
too many mentions
are
on there. Yeah. Too many references of Kim and his relationship and Ray J and all. And too many pop references that kind of go back to that
point.
Too
much attention paid to Taylor Swift.
You married to Kim
You got the hottest in the game. We know
and we know that. So do your music, spit your hot lyrics, talk your talk, do you by all means.
To your point, Ash, he needs to go back to locked in a room. Three beats a day. 3 beats a day for 3 summers.
And especially, and maybe now.
And get his grind on and let and get to some levels like Prince.
That's what I was just gonna say. Maybe now.
Where your hunger and your thirst. Yeah, maybe
this is spark.
Let your art speak for itself. Instead of telling everybody you're the best in the world, how about you just go ahead and be
That's
the
it, David. That's it.
And he is. He's right up there.
And he's prolific as anybody.
He's prolific.
And we've had this conversation on B&B before. It irks my soul when people call Kim Kardashian talented. People let this celebrity and this shine confuse them with talent. It's not a talent. I don't care how much of a marketing person you are. You can go to school and learn to be a marketing director. It's a talent to it. You can develop a skill level to it. It's not a talent. It's not something that God has dropped in your spirit, in your soul, and you've been waiting for generations to come through, and you'll never see it again. That's not a talent. Being a great marketer.
That's an opportunity.
You're an opportunity. And there's a level of expertise and sense to it. You have perception to it. But it's not like picking up a guitar, teaching yourself how to play something, and people all over the world hear it and start crying.
Producing tangible work.
That's talent.
Tangible work.
That's talent. Something that's going to live forever. This song will be in a time capsule. Some Martian will open this joint up and say, "Well, this is Prince," and they're going to cry.
Yeah. But then you said, 30 years from now, because you made money, does that leave a mark on the world?
Exactly.
Look back at your legacy. What did you do?
No,
I made money.
But that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
I had an act.
So he's starting.
Okay, you had an act.
Yeah,
to me, what Quick is saying is that he's starting to blur the lines between his talent and his celebrity. And he is a very talented producer. He's a very talented rapper. He's a talented. I call him an artist. Right. There was debates years ago. Do people are people that sample and make loops and stuff? Are they artists? And I said yes, very much so. They're artists. But he's letting his celebrity start to diminish his artistic nature. And that Life of Pablo is a good album. But if he go back to what he said on one of his old albums, locking himself in his room all day, making 3 beats a day for 3 summers. That's when you get stuff like Prince. When Prince woke up at 2 in the morning and said, let's go play for 6 hours because I'm feeling the groove and I want to find that groove. That's when you, come on, man. You got me hyped.
Cut the nonsense.
Got me hyped.
I just wish when you get on that epic rant like that, you need to be on camera. You gotta be on camera. So next time we're gonna pan right and let you go off because that was epic. What you just did right
Come on, man. Just
yeah.
You disrespected this man's legacy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
his
you
output.
disrespected
You
his
disrespected his hustle by taking it for granted. Because you're such a talent. Prince is trying to teach you not to waste that talent, son.
Did you know what it is,
You
y'all?
can't waste that talent, dog.
People look at these what is it, reality TV people, and they're a star because they're on TV and they're arguing with people. They're on TV having a spousal debut, or they're on TV and they're in a restaurant throwing plates. What is this? And they're considered a star and they're a celebrity, but they have no talent. Snooki is not talented. These I don't even know the new people and the love and hip hop people. Some of them are were talented in the music industry, but their celebrity now is they're on camera and they're arguing.
We salute their ingenuity.
Come on,
Cardi B. I hear her name one more time. I don't even know who this child is.
Come on, man.
I don't know who this child is.
She's a child.
No, you take somebody like K. Michelle who took that and flipped it and
it was just a
vehicle.
vehicle.
I don't mind people that take the vehicle.
Nothing
I don't
wrong
have
with
a problem
that.
with
Nothing
that.
wrong with that.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't even got a problem with Stevie J because Stevie J really is.
And he's a producer.
And he took advantage of the situation.
Exactly. That's what I said. Some of them were talent in the music industry or whatever
now,
industry.
Jocelyn Hernandez,
Right,
come on,
exactly,
stop playing.
exactly.
The fact that even trying to make her an artist is a travesty.
It is.
Yeah.
And half of these artists, half of these cats that call themselves artists on this reality show, they all, if you're on a reality show, you're a mechanic. You get on a reality show, next thing you know, I got this album dropping, working on this track called Axel Love. I'm about to drop this thing.
Called Fuel Injection.
Yeah, Pistons. That's what it's about. It's about that movement called that Pistons movement.
Cylinders, baby.
Cylinders.
8 cylinders.
8 or 10. Who you riding with?
I'm behind that Pistons movement.
I'm about
Get
that
on
Pistons movement. 6 or 8 cylinders.
Get with that.
Get with that. So the Pistons dot Flickr
Street racer.
dot Instagram on Instagram.
It burns me, man.
Cylinders.
It burns me.
Yeah, come on, man.
It burns me.
Yeah,
It burns me, man.
It is.
Coming from being a true of every genre of music, being a true hip hop head,
Right.
and
A true music head.
a music head,
A music head first.
but my crux is hip hop. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
music.
That's the
but
passion.
that's
That's
at
your
the top
soul
of my
right there.
list.
Yeah.
But coming through the era when you had to drop lyrics. If you touched the wheels of steel, you had to have some skills.
I.e. real talent.
Yes.
I.e.
And then
real
now
talent.
with this fluff of talent and people calling themselves artists and celebrities and talent because they
Sidebar.
just
Speaking of
burns
talent, has anybody seen the new iMusic or iTunes? What was that? iTunes commercial? I don't even know what it was for. The joint with Taylor Swift.
Nah.
Oh, it's for Beats headphones. I think it's for Beats.
I
She did a commercial where they show her as quiet. And they got close to her as it pans back. She's getting ready for what she's like, I hate work. Like she's thinking to herself. And she's stretching. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I don't like it. She's like, I can't stand cardio. Cardio day is the worst. Blah, blah, blah. But let's get through it. She puts the headphones on. Yeah, jump in. Yeah, that joint is hot.
Yeah, she killed it too.
She killed. Yeah. She's in rhythm and everything. She gets on the truck. She's like, jump in. She's like, Taliban. Jump in. She starts jogging. Then she busts her butt and falls. And you see her flat in the trailer like, Yo, but for a minute there, you're like, oh, Taylor Swift's getting it. Like, yeah, that's a hot commercial.
Can we
That's
just
a
do a
hot
quick?
commercial.
Can we just do a quick commercial run? Remember I told you I wanted to. Are you down with the Settlers commercials?
Settlers
I
commercials.
love
We were just talking about the
those
Settlers.
commercials, man. They
Settlers
are
are the
The
best.
gray water, the gray soup water, and this
It's
red
fine.
stew.
It's fine.
Jack Rabbit,
Jack
Like
Rabbit,
you're doing
Jack
one week
Rabbit
off
with
the
a
family
Molly, every
Once
Harvest
per year.
Moon, every Harvest Moon. To the door they show it now is when you be like, what about the? He's like, they've been rated top for the last 5 years or 15 years. He said, what about being married to that woman for the last 50 years with all those layers and those bonnets?
I've never seen
He
this.
said, and all that
I've
beautiful
never seen
hair
that.
that I've never seen. Yo, I love him, George. He's like, fresh milk for your travels? Salted meats? He was like, what about hats? The boys was like, he made the boys some hats.
Oh my god.
He was like, your son really likes her. He was like, he should have known better. Yeah, the Settler Jaws. And the uncle taking the bath.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, my
Oh,
privacy.
hilarious.
They was using
Look,
the
I need my
wires.
privacy.
He was like, how old your uncle?
I need my privacy.
He said, yeah. He said, yeah. I need my privacy. Stupid George, yo. I love the Settlers.
They are
That
hilarious.
is hilarious. Because they was talking in a barbershop. They was like, yeah, it was like a surprise. Like the Amish people that been like come out.
Right,
And I said,
They
well,
don't
they
care.
can't.
They're not
they
watching
can't
TV.
because they're not supposed to.
They're
So
not
if they come
watching
out, they kind of
Yeah,
blow
they're out.
yeah.
It's not
They're
even,
out.
it's not really so much Amish, more like the
Yeah,
settlers. Like, it's not even like
they
Amish.
kind of blow.
With
They
the
kind
heat,
of
with the
they
heat,
kind of
big
go a little.
pirate.
Yeah, they kind of go a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
between.
Early settlers.
Right,
Amish,
yeah. And those joints are hilarious.
Yeah.
They're so
man.
funny.
It was like some salted meat, cheese, travel,
This gray dishwater soup we had. This
Jack Rabbit,
Gray water
this
soup.
gray water soup.
Mm.
Have
Just a
we not
spoon like.
provided? He was like, have we not provided?
Gray water.
It's talking about the top provider. Have we not provided you with this delicious Jack Rabbit stew?
Damn.
Those jaws are crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
commercial
man,
game
it's
is
all
strong. Commercial game is strong. I was talking to my mother today,
That's what's up.
and she asked me my opinion. She said, "Is it me, or it is lady cab driver? Come on." My mother said, "Is it me, or is Empire not that good this season?" I was like, "Mom, you nailed it down the head. It's losing steam." Now I will say this, and the only thing I say in the defense, it's better than the first half of the season was. It's better, but I'm pretty much watching just out of habit right
I'm
now.
watching it happen too.
I'm watching because there's
Just to
nothing
get
else
through
on
it,
at
just to
Wednesday
get
at 9
through it.
o'clock. Just to
Really,
get
it's a car accident for me. It's like, I know it's going to be awful and it's bad.
I'm
It's so
not gonna
bad.
call it awful. It's just not holding my attention.
I'm going to
saying,
call it
"Well, I watch
awful,
it."
baby.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it awful.
Yeah.
I haven't
I'm
seen.
gonna call-
haven't
I
seen
think it's
one
got
more.
one more season, man. And if it don't pick up one more season,
The problem is going to be, I think, this Power's going to put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
When
it
Power
might-
comes back
it might.
around,
If it comes back on
and
fire
it's
like
not-
it did last season,
What
if it
makes
comes
you
back
think
the
it's
way
not?
it left,
Yeah,
because it
what
left
makes you
on
think
pure
it's not?
fire. It left on pure fire. If it comes back like that, which I have no doubt that
Yeah,
it
that's what
won't,
I'm saying. It's gonna
because
be,
the characters are too strong,
it's gonna be
the
bigger,
storyline
better,
is too
stronger.
crazy,
And it's cable.
and it's there you go,
Cable.
and it's
Yeah.
cable,
Fox
and it's
cable.
just on cable.
And
I don't
we
have to
have
sit and watch Jamal's outfits, bad urban outfits anymore. If you
It's
was,
just so unrealistic.
ever-changing
The music-
parts.
The music is just so unrealistic.
The music is hard.
Just the music aspect of it.
I
Just
like the
doesn't
first,
seem
you
like-
mean-
first season.
are you
music I
are you
like.
trying to tell me you're not gonna pick up Frida Gat's
I'm
new
never gonna
single?
pick up Frida Gatz. Stop that Frida Gatz is the embodiment of why this show tries too hard. It's her character is the embodiment
Frida Gatz.
of why this
Is
show
that the
is
girl that
unwatchable.
was rapping? in
Yes.
prison?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
she's trying to be. She's
Yeah.
like a
Hard.
hybrid of.
Yeah.
She's a hybrid of Little Kim meets
Sticky fingers.
Sticky Fingers and what's the name from The Wire? Short, what's the
Snoop.
name?
Snoop.
Snoop from The Wire.
Yeah.
She's trying to be all that mixing together.
Oh man.
And be the
It's
hardest
unbearable.
MC going.
Yeah, it's unbearable.
Yeah, where Jamal comes down to the hood and drops freestyles in the middle of the project.
Yeah.
Where the kids start
Right,
popping
so
and
Dave,
locking.
yes. Dave, that's
Like-
what I mean, Dave.
Like
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
like it's a
son.
Guzzler's commercial, like it's a going for juices. Really? You're in the middle of Richard Allen with the
Right,
fire
and
in
the
the can. Yeah, they're beatboxing and the kids are pop locking in.
Right.
You know, they,
John jumping in with your rhymes.
yeah.
Hakeem goes one kid like, Like you hit it, and the kid just comes in
Right.
and starts spitting on
Yeah,
beat.
exactly. And drops a hot 16.
Glad I didn't waste my hour.
Yeah, it's really
My
Yeah.
bad.
You know, every time they have one of those bad sequences and bad song sequences, it's like you can see Lee Daniels is at his crib, put another bullet in the chamber,
Right,
and spin it. This is gonna be the one that takes me out.
Yeah.
This is gonna take Empire out. Okay, there's another one in the chamber. You know, he's shooting himself he's shooting himself.
I can't take
You know,
it.
he put the first bullet in the chamber when he had Sylvester on the piano singing
Yes.
"How You Make Me Feel Real."
Right. Well, Sylvester
Yeah.
Imposter.
Yeah, Sylvester Imposter, because Sylvester was the man.
Right.
You know, and you know what? We're running out of time. We're running out of
Hey,
time.
real quick, we got the draft this week. We didn't get into that.
Draft.
Draft's a Thursday.
Eagles
Is-
moved up to number 2.
Number 2. Is Sam
Yeah.
Bradford
Sam
a
Bradford's a
crybaby, or is he
little
legitimately
despondent.
upset about not wanting to compete? I have to compete for my job.
I didn't want you to bring me here to be
He
2
just-
years.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the franchise
That's the
quarterback.
franchise player. Yeah. How about you? For once in your life, can you earn something on the field?
Yeah, just suck
Can
up,
you earn?
suck up that
You
money,
made
right.
68
suck up that
million
money,
and
ball out, and get you a new contract
So
next year.
72
That's all.
touchdowns and 72. What the stat come to? 72 million. 72 touchdowns. So he made $1 million a touchdown
So you hear the backdoor rumors.
in a
though.
6-year career.
The backdoor rumors are
Mm-hmm.
his agent is driving
Tom
him
Condon.
so that he can get to Denver.
The Eagles got to let him go.
Yeah, well,
The Eagles gotta
but
do that.
Denver wouldn't. Denver's
John Elway
in no
did-
position to give him anything.
Howie
now.
Roseman said, "I'm gonna need 2 number 2s,"
I'm going to be.
and
right.
and Elway's like, "I don't have that to give to you." I'm
But
gonna need 2
listen,
number 2s.
nobody's
That's what's
going.
gonna hold
Nobody's
on to
going
him.
to give it because you know you have somebody that wants to get out.
Well, then you
So
know what?
you-
It don't matter because
It's
he's not
one
the
thing
one that
if
makes
you
the
come.
decision.
Yeah, but I'm
You can
saying
sit there and
he
rap.
killed his own value.
Yeah, you
with
killed
that.
yourself.
He killed his
You killed
own
yourself.
value.
You killed yourself.
If somebody would have came and been like, "Yo, you know what? With this defense, blah blah blah, the way Peyton Manning just didn't lose the game, we could put Sam
Just
Bradford
manage
in,
it.
and he could be Osweiler.
Hello,
you know,
Mark Sanchez is
yeah.
the starting
But did
quarterback right now in
did
Denver.
the suitors are going to come lining up? And,
No.
let's go. We want a Bradford trade.
But here's the
what do you
thing.
want for him?
But the
Come on,
thing
dude.
is, after training camp, all the injuries start to fall. Somebody,
And that's what Howie Roseman knows.
Yeah, but
and that's why Howie Roseman's going to
but
sit on that
people
trump
still
card.
aren't going to be like, they're not going to be like, I'm
He's
backing
not
up
going
the
to get
truck.
2 number 2s.
Yeah.
But at least you got to get a 3 and a 4, something like that, or a 3 and something else. You know, you got to work something out.
Yeah.
But he's going to hold that either till draft night or until August when camp. So and like you said, the unfortunate injuries start popping up, and some team is desperate for a QB, and there's a viable one sitting right there. So. You know, you play it how you want to play it, Sam Bradford, but
Sam Bradford is very serviceable.
he's very
You just
serviceable.
don't know when he's going down.
He's
You
very
just don't know
serviceable.
when he's going down. He's a
Yeah.
serviceable.
But he's the epitome of mediocrity.
Yeah.
You're not winning. Let's just be real. I mean, the Eagles weren't winning anything anytime soon anyway. They got pieces to fill.
Right.
But he'll get you
He's gonna
a
win.
wild card
He's gonna
spot.
get you some games.
Yeah,
He'll get
yeah.
you some games.
With a good team.
He'll get you a first
Yeah.
round. He might even get lucky and you get a
That's
good
a
defense
la
round.
plug him into Denver.
Yeah, but you plug him in
Yeah.
Denver.
He's
Yeah.
better than Sanchez. He's
better
better
than-
than who else
yeah.
they got on the roster?
Well, let's
They
put
got
that. He's better than Fitzpatrick. Would you put him better than Brian Fitzpatrick?
Oh,
Or are you saying
Bradford?
no?
Nah.
Bradford
Bradford absolutely better than
Really?
Fitzpatrick.
I put
I would
Bradford above
rather have
Fitzpatrick too.
Patrick Fitzpatrick.
You know, he balled out with the
I
Jets
would
last
rather
year.
have Fitzpatrick.
Fitz
right now.
balled out with the Jets
Yeah,
I would
last year,
rather
so
have Fitzpatrick.
that's debatable.
Yeah.
That's debatable. Yeah, that's very debatable.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You know, Thursday night's the draft.
That's it.
I'll be enjoying that. My cousins, you know, we always get together, have a little shindig at my cousin's house.
Yeah.
You know, little 420 sessions.
Yeah.
Salty about Norman going to the
Josh,
Skins.
Norman, you guys got to see him twice.
Oh, you know what? That's a great signing for the Skins.
I know Dez is
He
happy
fits
about
their
that.
he fits their system to a T.
With is D'Angelo coming back?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's got to see his rehab.
But
He's
I
always
was
on the verge
saying-
of retirement every camp. Man.
Yeah, but I mean, goodness.
Still, the
Hey,
fact that you have to face him twice a year is
Yeah,
it's
twice a
interesting.
year. He ain't going nowhere. Yeah.
Well, hopefully y'all get a receiver because Matthews is done. If he got to stick Matthews, he gets no catches. Like I'm saying, he's going to circle the Odell Beckham
Yeah.
games, those two games.
Here's the thing
But-
with Josh Norman, though,
No, you
man.
guys
He's
gotta get on some White House too.
Well, we had the same conversation. Didn't we talk about this last August?
Yes, we did.
It was about as warm as it is in here, about the same temperature. You know, they have a big question mark at wide out again. We'll see what happens. But I know we're up against it. Everybody, all the football fans out there, enjoy the draft this Thursday.
We'll talk more extensively about it next week.
Yeah, we'll do a recap of that.
Absolutely.
Real quick, how can we forget? It's the Penn Relays this weekend, Derek.
Yeah.
It's our best favorite time of the year.
Absolutely.
Penn Relays.
Relays. Big up Jamaica, always.
Yeah. Jamaica. Yeah.
Take over West Philadelphia.
Shout out Southwest and West Philly locked down.
over.
West Indian
Green and
Massive.
gold everywhere.
West Indian Massive
West green and gold
will
everywhere.
be in the house this weekend as all of the Caribbean transcends around Philadelphia
Yes.
and the University of Penn for the I
Man.
don't know what is this, the 80-something hundreds
Right.
running of the Penn Relays.
If you want a reggae set this weekend, this is the weekend.
This is the one to find one.
You want a good one because
You want a nice fresh dish of
that's when you get
roti.
Lady Saul and
Fresh plate of roti.
Romaine
Yeah,
Virgo.
there's shows
When
all
the
over.
shows come up, that's when
Shows
everybody comes
come
to
up.
town. Yeah.
Yeah, so Penn Relay weekend.
Yeah.
We have fond memories of the Penn Relays over the years, man.
Lady Saul, Snoop.
Great Penn Relay memories. That's coming. We ain't really getting to that. We want to talk about some Penn Relay memories, but everybody enjoy the Penn Relays. Enjoy the NFL draft coming up. I'm gonna enjoy my birthday this week. I'm an old ass man.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
I'm gonna enjoy that. Great doing the show. We enjoy doing this. Build and Destroy Radio. We're about to check out. We're up against it. It's about to be coming up on the 9 o'clock hour. 7 to 9 every Tuesday. You can't get rants like what Mark did. Mark, come on the screen and show your angry face. Give me a gas face, Mark. You gotta support your rant.
Give us the gas.
Show your face. Show your face. That's the gas face.
I'm
He
mad.
looks a little more like Stevie J, making a Stevie J face than a gas face. But yeah, that's
First of all.
First of all. So great talking about Prince with Brown Mark and Eric Lee. Great talking about that. Great talking about the primaries. This is what we do. We bounce all over the place, but we enjoy every inch of it. So we're about to check out WPEB 88.1 FM is where you can find us. Ustream.tv on your PC. Download the Ustream app on your mobile device. Shout us out on Facebook. Give us a holler on Twitter. Build and Destroy Radio. Mark, Derek, David. That's the team. And remember, whatever you do this weekend, this beautiful spring weather we have, enjoy it. And while you're enjoying that, you always got to do one thing.
What's that?
Always. And destroy. And destroy. And that was a little tricked up this week. But we got it out anyway. Good evening, everybody. We'll see you later. Check us out. You can check the rebroadcast on our YouTube channel, Build and Destroy Radio YouTube as well. All right? We're out. Going out to Prince. What's up, Ustream? Check out the Prince. Music director Mark Bennett brought the Prince all night long. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We're about to check out. This has been Build and Destroy Radio. We'll be back next Tuesday, 7 to 9 on Ustream. All right, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for supporting us. Give us a shout out on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Shout us out on Twitter. Tell Derek he's a funny dude. Tell Mark he's an angry man.
First of all.
Yeah. Give me a happy birthday shout out. Alright? Alright, we're about to check out, man. I also want to let this Prince go a little bit long. If you're going to ride with us, we got 2 viewers still left, so you can listen to Little Kiss. Why not? Cheers. Alright, good night. Build and Destroy Radio. We're out.